Hello everybody, welcome to a new video where I'm going to try and explain to you how Super Auto Pets works. So, Super Auto Pets is a game that I just recently found out about. The basic premise is you have 5 different Super Auto Pets, and they fight each other, and in a very obviously cartoonish way. You know what? I'll show you. How about that? That's a great way of demonstrating. So, here, right here where you can see at the top is the selection of characters that we can have in order from right to left. The person on the most far right attacks, and then it goes from right to left. Over here at the bottom, we have the pets that we can buy. All of the pets are 3 gold, and uh, so are the apples. So over here is like the food you can buy. Those are just like mini buffs that you can give to your friends that can either give them damage or health. So let me explain that, damage and health. So basically how it works is, as you can see here, there's this little black fist that represents how much damage that you're doing with your attack. The red heart explains or shows how much health that you have for that specific character. So for this character right here, the ant, we have 2 damage and 1 health. So that means that we can deal out 2 damage, but if we get attacked, then we will only have 1 health before we faint. When we faint, it moves on to the next character. Every single character has some sort of special ability. I guess all of the ones that you can buy from the shop, there are technically ones that spawn that don't have any special abilities, but out of all the ones that you can buy from the shop, they have some sort of special ability that does something to influence the way that the round goes. So, for example, we have the ant. If this ant faints, so if this ant basically dies, that means that it will give a random friend, so just a random person on your team, plus 2 damage and plus 1 health. So, or plus 1 attack and plus 1 health, which means that whenever it's their turn to fight, they will have 2 more attack damage and 1 more health than they would otherwise. We also have the mosquito at the start of the battle, which means that when I press end turn and the battle is about to start, before the actual battle commences, my mosquito will be one of the first characters to go, and I will deal 1 damage to a random enemy. All of the start of battle stuff mostly it happens at the same time. So even if your character dies, it will still be able to do its sort of battle thing if it happens to have that. And last but not least for this selection here, we have the horse. So a lot of characters can do some kind of summoning ability. Like you can spawn either other new characters or whatever the case may be. What the horse will do is that if a new character is spawned in, that person, that character will have 1 more attack damage than they originally have by default. So if they have 2 when they spawn in, then that means they will have 3 thanks to the horse. Make sense? Okay. So up here at the top is the amount of gold that we have. There's also the hearts. We'll talk about that in a second. But right here is the gold. Each character that we get costs 3 gold, and so do the food. They all cost 3 gold, with some exceptions that we might talk about later. You can sell a character once you buy them, but when you sell them, you only get 1 gold back. Also, you can roll, and it'll basically give you a new list of characters as long as they're not frozen, and that costs a gold as well. So, for example, if I select this character, I can choose to freeze it, which means that when I do a new roll, this character will remain the same. It will not get switched off. And you can do the same for food as well. And you can do it for as many items as you wish. Obviously, for certain things, you're going to definitely want to freeze them, so that way you can buy them in the next round. So, like, if you don't have enough money, you can still, keep rolling until you see something that you want, and then freeze that item so you can buy it the next opportunity you get. So that's basically all of the major stuff that you need to know before we get into the battle. So let's actually start a battle. Right now, none of these characters have really any synergy behind them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can try and roll. Okay, not great. So basically what this means is I have no synergy between any of my characters, which is a shame. But it is what it is. Sometimes you just get unlucky and you don't get the characters that you need. For example, a cricket right here would have been particularly useful. It is unfortunate. I did that in the wrong order. You know what? Let's just back out and start again, because I did it in the wrong order like a fool. There's literally no reason for you to not do it the other way around. So, wow, look at all these pigs. Gonna roll that one. Okay. We have a decent selection of characters here, so we're gonna spawn this character in first, because it will buff the two characters that I'm gonna spawn in here by giving them 1 more damage than they normally would. You see that? Now he has 3 damage instead of 2, and he has 3 damage instead of 2 as well. So let's select intern. Since we don't have any money, can't do anything. You get to select your name. We're gonna go with the naughty fingers. The naughty streamers? Oh lord. The silly streamers. How about that? Naughty streamers. Okay, so this is our selection of characters, and that is theirs. So, here, I'll turn off autoplay for the time being, just so you can understand how this goes. So right here, we have an ant versus an ant. They kill each other, and, you know, that moves on. So, because of the ant fainting, it gives a random friend +2 and +1, as I mentioned before. So there you go. Now this guy has extra 2 damage and an extra health. But this guy also had an ant, so this guy's ant is going to buff his friend. If it'll click. Boom, there we go. So now, these 2 guys are going to be up next. They're going to fight each other next. And as you can see here, I have 5 damage, and he has 4 health, which means I will kill him. But he has 4 damage, and I only have 3 health, which means he will kill me as well. However, I will still win because I have the horse. Oh wait, there's a cricket. I forgot about the cricket. So never mind, we tie. If we kill each other, that is the end, that is a tie. So, at the top here, the music is loud, what? So, at the top here is the amount of wins that we have, currently 0, and down here is the amount of lives that we have. You start off by only losing 1 life, but the further you get into the game, you start to lose more lives up to a certain point. So, now we have another ant. Oh, so here we have some new creatures, right? So we have a beaver and an otter. So with the otter, when I buy this otter, like literally when I select it and put it into my characters, or into my my battle position, it will give a random friend. I don't get to choose; it's completely random. A random friend +1 damage and +1 health. So that is something that I could do if I wanted to, or I could go for the beaver. Now I think actually I'm probably going to end up going for the beaver because the beaver has more health. But here's what I'm going to do though. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to freeze the ant, and I'm going to roll. Interesting. So, because of the system that we have here, what makes the most amount of sense for me personally is to try and upgrade this ant right here. No, what actually makes more sense is to buy the ant, and then buff a character who I think I'm going to keep for a while, which would be the horse. Because all these other characters, I'm probably going to sell them relatively soon. But the horse is probably the one I'm going to keep for the longest, because it's one of the only really good early game ones. So now, we will begin. And this time I'm just going to let it autoplay. You can kind of see what's happening. It's not that particularly crazy. You can read it if you need to. But let's just let it autoplay. And as you saw, I did lose. However, I do believe I did make it to turn 3, so I unlocked Tier 2 animals. So these Tier 2 animals, oh, by the way, the dice explain what tier they are. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. So these are the Tier 2 animals. Really, just the higher tier that you get, up to Tier 6, the higher tier you get, the better the animals are, and, like, they do more stuff. Like, there are some animals that basically do the same thing, but the higher tier one just does it better. So, yeah, this is the shrimp. If you sell a friend, you give a random friend +1 health. Of course, this is only the case if I have them in my roster. This is not a terrible one to have, but doesn't really make sense for the specific goals that I have in mind for this run. So, I don't know what exactly I want to do. So, I'm going to... And this one is pretty good to have. These two are pretty good to have. So I'm going to roll. Okay, So now that I have 3 ants, I can combine the ants together. I mean, I can combine them even when there was 2. So if you select an ant and you select this, you see this little arrow right here, that means that you can combine them. And what it'll do is it'll buff their health and damage. By that, I mean, it won't combine the health and damage, but what it'll do is it'll take the health and damage of the highest one, or the health or the damage, if they're, different, like the one has higher damage and one has higher health. It'll take the highest health and the highest damage, add it by 1, and then that'll be the stats. So in this case right here, we have 3-2. We're going to take the ant here, and this will be 4-3. So because I leveled up, I get a tier 3 pet early if I choose to want to do that. Of course, if I do choose to do that, that means that I will not be able to do the hedgehog honey strategy, which honestly is a really good strategy. But, I'm feeling it. I think it's a good strat. I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to put him right in second place. And just for fun, we're going to put a meat bone on somebody, because I have 3 extra coins that I can spend on something. I'm going to put 3 extra coins on that same pufferfish, just for fun. So let's end the turn. Let's see what happens. I think tie? Because I survive. Ooh, that's not good. Well, I do 2 damage to a random enemy. That kills the horse, yes. That's good. Okay. And I win because of the beaver. Yes! There we go. That beaver is looking pretty strong. But of course, it was only strong for that round. Alright, so now we have a new selection of characters that we can choose. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell the beaver, because it'll give buffs to the rest of my teammates. So we're going to sell this beaver, and we're going to buy the hedgehog, and we're going to give it honey. And what honey will do is, once, as you can see right there, honey, summon a 1/1 bee after fainting. So once I die, it'll summon a bee that has 1 health. But that bee can also be buffed, like, for example, because it's a summoning ability, when that bee gets summoned, the horse will give it +1 battle if the horse is still alive. Of course, this horse is coming before this horse is going to do all of its action before the before the hedgehog, so it's very likely that the horse will be dead, unless if 2 mosquitoes just so happen to hit this hedgehog, which would be rather unfortunate. So what I could do is I could gamble a roll by selling this guy, and then take whatever. Oh no, that wouldn't make sense, because I wouldn't be able to get 2 of them anyways. So instead, we're just going to roll, see what we get. Another hedgehog. That is not a bad thing, because we can use that to our advantage. Ooh, the elephant also works. So here's what we're going to do. Because we have a blowfish right here, what makes sense for us to do is for us to sell this, and by us I mean myself, is to sell this, move this guy back, and then buy the elephant. So what the elephant does is, before it attacks, as long as it's its turn, when it's the elephant's turn, before it actually attacks, it's going to deal 1 damage to the friend behind. Now, obviously, the friend behind is my teammate, and you might be thinking that's a bad idea, but as you can see from the blowfish's buff, if I get hurt, I deal 2 damage to a random enemy. So basically, I'm dealing a significant amount of damage per round to a random assortment of enemies, thanks to this combination here. As long as these 2 guys stay alive, but of course that might not be the case. Because I don't have any summon abilities, this horse doesn't make a lot of sense to keep. But we're going to still keep it for the time being, because there's no logic in selling it. Yeah, there's no logic in selling it, so we're just going to keep it, and we're going to freeze this and roll. None of this is something I particularly want, but if I get this honey, I can use that later, and then we're going to roll again. A horse, we could use that to upgrade the horse if we want to, But I think I'm going to get rid of the horse next turn, so we're not going to keep that. I'm thinking about getting rid of the horse next turn. So, let's take a look and see what happens. Ooh, that's a spider. So what the spider does is when it is faints, it summons a random level 1 tier. In this case, it's the ram. That is unfortunate. That's going to make my life a little bit more difficult. But thankfully, there wasn't 2 rams. It actually spawned 2 rams. But in this case, it didn't. So there you go. So there you go, damage. It's going to hurt my pufferfish. My pufferfish is going to do random damage to somebody. There we go, boom. So it's going to hurt the pufferfish. Hopefully kill that dodo in the back. It didn't. That's unfortunate because now that damage is negated. So yeah, I still win though, so it's not a problem. There we go, that is a victory. Now that I've reached turn 5, tier 3 animals are unlocked. So, the goose is good, the garlic is great. I'm going to probably put the garlic on the blowfish. The ant is kind of redundant, so here's what we're going to probably do. We're going to probably sell this guy right here. Friend ahead, faints, gain melon, and +1 attack. Yeah, we're going to sell these 2 guys. This is if the friend ahead faints. So I could do some synergies where I do, well, moderate synergies. Where I do this, and I buy the swan. Actually, let's freeze the swan. Let's definitely put the garlic on the this guy here, so he takes less damage. So what the garlic does is, whenever somebody deals damage to me, it does 2 less damage. So it's not 2 extra health, it's 2 extra... the attacks are weaker. So basically, their attacks are weaker, whatever they try and do against me. So we're going to roll here. A spider. Spider is decent. Snail is decent too. So we have a decent selection of characters that we could choose from. I reckon we do the swan. With honey. And we're going to freeze both of these 2 guys here, but nothing else. And the garlic is probably a good thing to freeze too. Yeah, we'll freeze the garlic as well, because this guy, we probably want to keep him alive longer. Yeah, I guess, we'll see, 4 and 9, that's not great. So yeah, he has great synergy. Yeah, he has a really good synergy setup, and I don't really have that kind of luxury just because I haven't had that good of luck. So he's able to, like, buff his teammates and whatnot, and I'm not. This is rough. The camel's dead, which is good, but the pufferfish is alive and well, which is a problem. Yeah, we definitely lost this. Because that, ooh, that's rough. Oh, 1 damage. That pufferfish has so much health. I don't know how. It definitely feels like the game is kind of wonky. Like, it puts you up against opponents you should not be able to beat up against. Like, I don't know how this guy has so much stuff. It's kind of weird. But it is what it is. So now that we have 3 porcupines, we can do this. We can, or it's not 3 porcupines, 3 hedgehogs. We can upgrade the hedgehog. And look at that. Now we have a even better friend. So, we're going to sell the swan. You've outlived your usefulness. And we're gonna buff all of our teammates here. So if you lose the last battle, that's what the snail does. Once you buy it, if you just lost the last battle that you were just in, it'll give all of your friends +1 and +1. So right there, I basically, for the price of 2 coins, because I'm gonna sell this guy immediately, for the price of 2 coins or 2 gold coins, I just gave everybody on my team 1 health and 1 damage, which I think is actually really solid. And last but not least, we're going to do this. And then we're going to roll, because we can't do anything else. We don't have a... So the rat is pretty good for if you have the peacock. We do not have a peacock, so the rat does not make a lot of sense for our specific composition. Friend ahead faints, gain 1 melon. Yes. This is fine. Not like I can do anything about it. I mean, the only thing I could do is I could sell one of my units, but I wouldn't be able to do anything other than re-roll anyway, so that's not worth it. This sucks. The lowest damage... Oh, okay, no, this is... That still sucks. Not ideal. It could have been worse, though. Hey, these guys have a lot of health for their stuff. I don't know how they have so much health for everything they have. I mean, again, I guess it's just the camel. Like, they got lucky and got the camel. They just got the RNG, you know? Well, stop hitting that guy, man. I mean, it doesn't make a difference, because I'd lose. Because these guys just have such better characters than I do. And that's just part of the annoying... That's a part of the annoying element of this game, is that, there's a lot of RNG involved. Like, there's definitely some skill and some strategy, but most of the times, the ability for you to win your games is 100% completely out of your hands. You're just hoping you get the right stuff at the right time, and if you don't, then you very likely lose, because you don't have synergy between your characters. And that is just an unfortunate part of how the game works, but I don't make the rules. This is solid. This one's a good one to have. Is this better? This is better than this. Far, far better. Like, this guy is really good. Yeah. This guy can be buffed a lot very fast. He works better with a summon build. Like, this guy is not going to get that much extra health, but it's still going to make a huge difference in the long term. Peacock build, not interested in doing Peacock builds right now, but whatever. Since this is the last time I have, like, this is my last opportunity. If I fail again, I am eliminated. The snail is literally completely useless to me because I will not actually be able to ever take advantage of the snail. So it is do or die right now. Either I win or I don't. And it's not really up to me. It's up to the RNG gods of giving me an enemy that isn't overpowered. That is Truff. So the hippo is arguably the best character in the game. He's insanely powerful. Maybe even overpowered, honestly. He's just so good, especially when he's upgraded. At least he doesn't have, like, a debuff on him. That would be obnoxious. Okay, I think I might actually kill him, man. Boom. Perfect. So, 10-10. Oh, we both did 10 damage, though. Oh, yeah. That's annoying. Oh, but we tie because of the bee. So the bee came in clutch right there, and it allowed us to draw rather than lose. Fantastic. Yeah, let's roll. Rams are good, but not for the setup I have right now. I could get more canned food. I can't upgrade anything, unfortunately, so there is no real benefit to doing any specific strat in particular. So we're just going to unfreeze this guy and roll and see what we can get. So now we have a hippo. We can potentially get our hands on a hippo, which would be pretty substantially impactful if we were able to upgrade it, but at its base level, it's okay. The parrot is all right. The problem with parrot is that it's like tier 4, which means that by the time you get it, you probably already have a really good setup in hand, anyways. And plus, you copy the ability of the pet ahead as level 1. So it's not even like it's going to be a level 2. And you would need to find a bunch of parrots, and that's just a lot of RNG. Overall, parrot's just not that great of a choice. You would rather have someone with a more significant ability that works better with your team composition. Well, guess what? I rolled it, and I didn't get anything useful, so we're going to hope to the RNG gods that I am able to win this round. I mean, I got Onion on a lot of my characters, so here's hoping, right? Wow, my shark is dead immediately. That is incredibly unfortunate. I probably lost just because of that alone. Four damage, not enough though. That is game. I lost. Unfortunately, I just did not have enough luck. That is just simply, I did not have enough luck to get the things I needed when I needed them. I was not able to get a hippo until very late, and I wasn't able to actually use it, so that is just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you just get really unlucky. But I hope you guys thought this little tutorial of sorts is interesting. Let me know what you think about the game. Definitely try it. It's free on Steam and probably other places too, but I play it free on Steam. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. Peace.